Hi guys, I've been looking around at the Linux Xanmod, Linux Xanmod Edge and Linux Xanmod LTS. There are, if you compare the package builds, the configuration of the Linux kernel, differences, like 700 lines on 11,000 or something like that. More lines in Xanmod than there are on the ArcoLinux kernel. Now, the idea is when you install Linux kernels, they are coming from ArcoLinux. When we install the Xanmod kernel, they're actually built, it's on the AUR, so yay, and then Linux Xanmod, and you see the family there. But we haven't them like, I don't know, a month or so. We've been playing with that as well, and as you see, my system here is actually, my ISO builder is actually running with NVIDIA with Xanmod. Point is, this is different, right? The essence is no longer Arch. The essence is we've built a script based on the guys from the AUR. And what if we made an ArcoLinux with Xanmod? So the Linux Xanmod as the default kernel. Now the fun is, this does not change that much, in the sense that a Linux kernel from ArcoLinux is in 1 month's time 5 to 8 times replaced, right? Build, and build again. So if we say, okay, let's build this like, say, monthly basis, more like the numbering, right? When this comes 5.20, we make one, and when it comes 1 to 5.21, etc., we'll build and change it. Thing is, we're actually diverging from Arch. This is no longer an Arch build. This is a personalized, well, not personalized, but it is a general Linux Xanmod kernel, not the default LTS Linux Zen or hardened. So what if we do that? Well, we need to do a lot of things, right? We have the ArcoLinux ISOs, here they are, and what we need is basically the difference between these two guys. This is the XS, so XFCE with a few applications, not that many at all, and LTS. The difference is here is the kernel. What I need is an ArcoLinux XS Xanmod ISO. So that's the topic of the video, and it's gonna take about 2 hours, probably, right? We're gonna make a new ISO. So first of all, let's make some room. No, wrong browser. Let's make some room, Ctrl-Alt-F. And let's remove everything I don't need. Close other tabs. And in here is the ArcoLinux XL ISO. So new ArcoLinux XS. LTS is already present. Should be present, should not be possible. Should not be possible. Let's have a look. Where am I? I am the ArcoLinux repo. Check. ArcoLinux ISO, we put always behind it. So, all right, got it. So a new ArcoLinux LTS ISO. I think the GitHub is named like this, or is it ISO LTS? I need to get my naming convention right. I don't know, so I need to go back. Okay, LTS, ArcoLinux LTS, is that the name? ArcoLinux LTS ISO. Okay, so when I make a new one, then it should say that's not possible. That's the one. Oh my god, ArcoLinux XS ISO. And ArcoLinux is XS LTS ISO. Correct. So this needs to be the Xanmod ISO. Xanmod ISO. Okay. That took a while. So, private. I could do that and not share my knowledge. That's not my goal. I want to share my knowledge. So we're gonna make Xanmod ISO. Not the Edge, not the LTS, Xanmod. Oops. Looks like something went wrong. It seems to be not to be the day to do something here. Alright, where am I? Repositories. It has not been created. Fine. ArcoLinux Xanmod ISO. Public. Alright. So that's done. We've got ourselves a URL to post everything on. So basically ArcoLinux LTS ISO, right? Git clone Ctrl+Shift+V. I've got myself an empty ArcoLinux Xanmod ISO. Now the best thing I can do is copy paste. So Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V. The README is gonna be Xanmod ISO, save. And all the rest we'll have to see. Why I'm doing this? Because the difference between this one and that one, which is basically melt, compare, right, is a few files. These files need to be changed. So if I do this and this, it's gonna be the same approach. I have to do it twice. It's gonna be differences. So I have to check all these files, not the orange guys, but all the blue guys. Okay. So let's do it with melt. And partially with melt and partially not with melt. So we have here the make init cpio, which means etc arch ISO etc make init, this guy. Linux LTS is going to be called Linux Xanmod. And everywhere we see Linux LTS, we need to change it to Linux Xanmod. Because that's now it's the name of the kernel, simple as that. It's called Linux Xanmod.image later. We can always have a look, save at the system. Right? VM Linux, Linux Xanmod or LTS, Xanmod fallback, Xanmod image, Linux fallback, Linux image. So we can always see there, simple as that. Okay, so we've got ourselves a Xanmod there, Control find, let's keep this around, LTS, right? No LTSs. Save. So this one changed. File, refresh. I have now the Linux Xanmod preset. I have to remember everywhere, need to change that. Now, the yellow ones are all the same. Devrel, it's gonna be called not LTS, but Xanmod. Save. Host name, LTS, nope, Xanmod. And you keep on changing these small things. A name here, name there. This is rather important. So this is just text. It's not that important, but it is crucial that the next ones are correct. We boot up with the Xanmods. And here as well, Linux Xanmod. So with this compare, the work is actually fast. Save. Next one. Xanmod. Here I use a capital X because it doesn't matter. It's text, it's blah blah. But here it has to be a small. Xanmod. Save. Here it is a capital one. Here is a small. And the more of these lines you've made, the more you have to change. Okay, so we go down the list. Grub wants to boot up with LTS. Thank you very much. With Xmod, Xanmod, I mean, and here as well, Xanmod. And we're gonna forget a few here. This is a lot of text, and typos are not allowed. There's a few hidden behind there. I'm gonna use the search in a bit. Okay. I missed one there. This is text. This is not text. That's the name of a kernel. Okay. Control find LTS. There we go. So Xanmod, 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 Xanmod. Save. Control find. Any LTS? Nope, no LTSs. That's done. This one. LTS. Xanmod. Xanmod. Keep on typing Xanmox. Xanmod. Control find LTS. Xanmod. 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 Save. No LTSs. Okay. Next one. LTS. Xanmod. Xanmod. And here is important to have a small x. We'll see the others later. Let's do a Control C here now. Control V, Control V, Control V, Control Z, Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V, V, Control V, Control V, and Control V. Control save. Control find LTS. Okay, these guys is actually important that it's a small Xanmod. Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V. Save. Any LTSs? Sure. Still. Control V, Control V, V, and V, and V. Control save. It's red down here. No LTS. Okay, cool. Down the line, packages. In the end, they want to install Linux Edge. No, we're done with that one. Sorry, my mistake. It's done with with LTS, and yes, we are going to go for Xanmod, not Xanmod Edge. Okay, both of them, Linux Xanmod. That's it. That's the only difference. Except I have to make something for Calamares, right? So we can come back later for that. Profile. We call it Xanmod. And in here as well, Xanmod. Save. What else? Here we call it the ISO label LTS, so Xanmod. It's gonna go to ArcoLinux out, that's okay. Control find LTS, that's done. Save. First script, second script. This is how we build our stuff. Voila, Xanmod. Done. And a readme that is telling is ArcoLinuxS Xanmod. There you go. So we have done all that. If we start building, we need a new Calamares. So let's see if we can go to here. Yeah. So I need an ArcoLinux Calamares package. There is one for the LTS. Control C, Control V normally, right? But it has to go on the, is that one? Yeah, it has to go here. So on the website, it needs to have a GitHub. So let me go and have a look. We've called it this one. That's the name, Control C. What's number 9? Let's see, search, Control find. So that's the name we've called it. So the difference is now it should be called this, Xanmod. Control C, new, Control V, public, and create. Done. Now get all ArcoLinux Calamares. I'll just add it to the list to go get the Arco Calamares configuration XS Xanmod. Save. So I run the script, go get me basically git pull, right? But it's empty. This one is what we need. Control A, Control C, but not with the word LTS, with the word Xanmod. Okay, that's all right. What do I need then? I need to compare this guy with the XS. That's the difference between the Linux kernel and Linux LTS. And now I'm comparing with the Linux kernel and the other guy. Okay. Naming. I see here the names are wrong. So in here in the modules, there is something called init CPIO Linux LTS Xanmod. That's one thing. And in there is Linux LTS, just Xanmod. That's that. Let's do a refresh already. All right, we have Xanmod here. And init CPIO. How was it again, right? I really am thinking. That's the Linux kernel. That's the XS. All right. So we don't need, do we or don't we need? I'm wondering these two guys, right? What's the one I need? So this one is Linux, and the other one is also Linux. So a bit too much. Why is this here? I'm in XS, and here I am Linux Xanmod. Nope, not getting it. Then I'm gonna compare these three guys, this one and that one. Compare. So this one has init CPIO, no and no. This had init CPIO Linux, okay. All right, so it's okay the way it is now, because we're using these two guys as comparison. I'll do a compare later on again. Okay, this one and that one. Let's first do what we know already. All about this. Oh my god, right. Oh no, I have to make all of these. Now, two things I can do. Say whatever, which is probably what I'm gonna do, and say that the configuration of this particular ISO, this particular module, is coming from from LTS, I can keep it, or from XS. So basically telling that the Xanmod stuff is coming from the same GitHub as Arco, Calamares, config, XS, LTS. So if I change LTS, this Xanmod thing will be changed as well. That's actually not a bad idea. It's less work for me. All right. If I change one thing, it's already changed for the Xanmod. And it's always everywhere, but not everywhere. So let's have a look. Conf. YAML. What's this? Yeah, the kernel. So I can install the Linux LTS kernel like this. And here we say default is Xanmod. Installs the Xanmod kernel. Default already installed. And if you want to have it, you can do it like this, installing these two guys. Save. So that's something that's different. Conf. Quick look, right? LTS, that's the only difference. And then theming, conf. Packages is gonna be different. LTS is gonna be Xanmod. Save. I have to make this thing is gonna be called Arco Calamares config XS Xanmod git. After installation has to go again. Unpack. It's not gonna work because I need Xanmod here, Xanmod there. That's already okay. And then settings advanced. Here we have the configuration of Xanmod, and that's why we have a Linux initcpo Linux conf, I see. So okay, save. And as well here, Xanmod, save. All right, looking good, looking good. That's why we had it. So Xanmod. Okay, oh, forgot one here. Xanmod, save. Xanmod, save. Control find. I should check myself. LTS, nope, not there. And the previous one, LTS, there we go. Xanmod, save. Control find, LTS. All right, nothing. This one is done. Another one here first. Xanmod, Control find, and then Xanmod. Allez. Save. Done. Is it saved? Yes. Settings.conf. So here we have Xanmod and initcpo Xanmod. Save and Xanmod. Save. Control find maybe. LTS. Okay. Now I do not trust myself, nor should you. Don't trust me. But AG LTS. Okay. That's a bit rubbish. So it's all the conf. They're benign, that's okay. And defaults is of course contains as well an LTS. So a bit strange. What about a minus LTS? I don't know why that's happening. So I'm gonna put it in between quotes here. Yeah, it's doing that. It's new. Now LTS. Let's go over the things. So conf. I can deny. I can say ignore these things. But I saw something YAML. Linux LTS kernel. That's cool. That's a conf. That's a YAML. Yeah. Applications for VirtualBox, sure. Multimedia, all the confs. I think we did not miss one, so that's a good thing. Okay. And then we build one. Well, but first we put everything online. So first commit based on LTS. And then we failed to push it. We forgot to set up our Git credentials. That's done. Then we push it. First commit based on LTS. Failed to push some references to ArcoLinux Calamares config x Xanmod. Config x Xanmod. Yeah, that's correct. Let's see if that's the main, because they always change names. Well, always once, right? So there are scripts out there that still contain the old master, and it should be changed to main. What did I say? First commit from LTS. Okay. So that's now online. Now we can start building a package for it. We'll check in this later. Still had to check something, the init.cpo thing, I think, but it's okay now. But check anyway, we have the time later. So Calamares, here are the building packages. Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V. It's gonna be called Xanmod rename. Okay, and now we gonna call it not LTS but Xanmod, and not XS but Xanmod, XS Xanmod. And the date, yeah, we're October, and this is the first attempt to build it. And that's it. The package name is coming from here. Let's see if that works. That's online on the repo ISO. So repo ISO, push it online. That package is going on all the, well, repositories, well, servers actually. So we got this guy. Now it's best that we go to ArcoLinux ISO again, to the packages, right? To the packages. Oh, we have a new one. ArcoLinux Calamares config xs LTS git, but there is a Xanmod that should come after this guy. Ctrl+C. Okay, so what I do is use the machine. Replace with, delete lines, copy lines, change lines, build lines, add line after. Add line after. Add line after. Right? And then we had this line. And everywhere on all the GitHubs is gonna add Calamares config xs Xanmod git Arco Calamares config xs Xanmod git. Check. And that's it. So in here I have now control find Xanmod. It's not active, and it still has the LTS. So this one is now active. You can always do plain text and then Perl. It's always easier to watch, right? So the purple one is the one that's working, and all the rest, LTS and all the rest, are not working for other ISOs. Save. Control S. So, time to test, I guess. I don't know how much time have we spent already. Thought it would take about 2 hours, 30 minutes. Wondering if I've got anything, of course. But it will show pretty fast that we forgot something or not. So 40, run. We've called it ArcoLinuxS Xanmod version 20. Okay, and then we wait and see what happens. While he's doing his job, look, he's adding the Arco Calamares config XS Xanmod. We could have a look to check, is it gone again afterwards, right? Did we forget to delete it? So packages is where we say forget about this one. So ArcoLinux, did we go up? Arco Calamares config XS Xanmod git. Yeah, I think it's the correct naming. It's important to close all files. And he's busy. And we'll see what we get. Yeah. Was always my way of working and checking myself again and again and again is by comparison, right? I have time to spare. The thing is building. So what you do is you check, recheck. The Linux LTS is by default installed. No, Xanmod is by default installed, and Linux LTS goes down. That's okay. Difference is that LTS needs to be removed, and here it needs to be the Xanmod. Looks good. Here we're going to copy paste the kernel from LTS and here from Xanmod, and the same here. No typos, I think. That's the main thing always. Typos. I think I forgot something. Let's see. In the naming convention. Xanmod. Nope, still good. Xanmod and Xanmod. Okay. Xanmod. All right. And then we get this Git version 1. You see the difference. The old GitHubs have master, and the new guy just made Xanmod now, right? Has main. It looks good. I would be surprised if I hadn't made one typo. I was thinking about the naming here of the file. So do a catfish and give me anything LTS. In, not a search, not show hidden folders. Go away. That's a good thing, right? No files found. There's no file called LTS in here. And there is Xanmod. One file, initcpo linux xanmod conf. That does exist. Okay. We're building already. Linux Xanmod. So by default, both of them are there. It's always a good thing to have two kernels. If one fails for whatever reason, you have the other one to choose out from. When you boot up, you have this second line, advanced choice or something, and then you choose the older kernel in hopes that it works. Did I forget something? Let's check our work again. All right, ArcoLinux ISO. You do this, and you do this, and then you see if you made a mistake. So compare. This is a new name. Let's have a look at what's in there. Xanmod and then Xanmod. Okay. And then that's an okay. Devrel. Xanmod with capital X. Sure. Host name. Yeah, why not? And then we have here Xanmod. Maybe a control find LTS all the time to check our work again. I see the differences are only Xanmod, so Xanmod LTS. Check out the capital letters. For the title, it doesn't matter, right? But for the file, it does matter. That's another kernel if you use a capital X. Xanmod, all small letters, and those are big, and then we scroll to the right. Xanmod. Okay. Those are the differences with the LTS. And then we go here. Small X's, yep. Wow, lots of Xanmod stuff. 3 capital, 1 small, 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 and at the end, small. Okay. Packages. The difference is that we have an ArcoLinux configuration for Xanmod. The next difference is that we don't install the Linux LTS, but the Linux Xanmod and Xanmod headers. Nothing wrong with that. And the profile is called ArcoLinux Xanmod, and the label is that. Installation scripts. All small letters here. Okay. And that's it. We've done our check and we have to wait. I think it's best I pause the video a little bit till this is built. But on the other hand, then we don't know how long it takes to build an Xanmod kernel. It's now 38 minutes. Whoa, he's just about to finish up. 74%. Okay, go ahead, finish. Is there anything else I should have thought about? Basically, check out how we built the ISO, and then Calamares, how to deliver the kernel, the Xanmod kernel, on the future system. And remove everything Calamares related. Can't yet think of anything, but we'll soon know. We will soon know. Let's first check out the out box. So we've got an ArcoLinux XS Xanmod, yeah, correctly written, and yeah, the package list is here. I thought I'm missing something, but no, it's here. So control find Calamares. We have the XS Xanmod on there. These two guys. Let's see, right? Super, F7. We've got a new ISO. after 40 minutes. Templates, clone, XS, Xanmod. And then we go for choose a disk file, Eric, ArcoLinux out, Xanmod. Correct phrasing, I think so. Just a bit cut off here. Open. Yo. And then we boot off. Wow, right. Indeed, it says ArcoLinuxXS Xanmod install, open source, NVIDIA and all that. So, first one for VirtualBox. All kind of new texts, new messages here, because this is a different kernel, right? All these file map kind of things. New. It is a completely different kernel, not coming from ArcoLinux. All right. First of all, Control T, right? We have liftoff, right? We are booting with Xanmod. That's important. And some of the things will not work. It's not, look at Xanmod.org. There's a small line there saying Xanmod.org, Xanmod kernel does not work, might not work, may not work properly with NVIDIA proprietary drivers and more drivers. You check it out. But if it works for you, fine, right? So we're now on Xanmod kernel 19.11. That's that. Can we install it? So there's two ways, always. The easy installation, meaning this will work on the beach without the internet, etc. Right? This will work. This has so many conditions that at some point in time it might not work, depending on keys and servers and so on. But we do need to check this one because we see that we have here a problem. This says Linux LTS kernel, and that's not correct. That's not correct. So what went wrong? Cancel? Yes. And then sudo pacman. Oh, what's that? Sudo pacman -remove ArcoLinux Calamares. ArcoCalamares, I think. Voila. It says that the ArcoCalamares config xs Xanmod git is there. All right, prove it to me. Is it there? etc Calamares and then ag Xanmod. So why is he telling me if I do this I won't see it, huh? So I need to do this one and the kernel, the pages of the kernel, modules, and then kernel, kernel conf, kernel YAML. I'm afraid I have bad news, guys. I've been talking to myself the last 50 minutes, I think. So I saw the pause recording. I said, oh my God, I forgot to press to record again. In the meantime, things have been solved. I don't know where I actually stopped, but there was a problem with the page here, Linux Xanmod kernel. It was pointing to the LTS website, right? The LTS configuration, and this one had to be changed, and in the meantime I've changed it all. So basically it's working. Let me conclude. Oops. let me conclude. Well, go back in time and reverse what I've said, what I've done. So the machine in the meantime can work. We can use the time to build the ISO. So it's finished, product is finished. We've got ourselves a Xanmod ISO for the future. So what have I done? I've analyzed that the Calamares was not okay. Remember that we wanted to be a little bit lazy, right? And we saw that there were configurations. Let's go watch it like this. We saw that there are Control F, that we pointed to the LTS. We just were a bit lazy. We want to keep everything the same. But in the kernel, of course, it can't be. It has to go to the Xanmod because it's a completely different information inside Calamares. So this one was really wrong. And all the rest we've just changed all of them since voilà. That's the proper thing to do. Don't be lazy, right? Point the URL. Where is he going to get the configuration for the module net install ArcoLinux dev from the proper name? This is the ArcoLinux Calamares config XS Xanmod. So the URL must display that. That's it, right? And the problem was the kernel thingy, because yeah, we've made something new. It's now an Xanmod kernel. So we've done that. We've pushed everything online. We've built a package again, and basically that was it. I hope I've watched the video myself later on. Where did I stop? Right, with a recording. That happens with family members coming in and then quickly pause. Yeah, it's my mistake, not theirs. So we're building again. We could actually see at the size already a little bit. So we've got the Xanmod. And what's interesting maybe is a package list from the Xanmod and the XS, for example. And compare. Both of them have been built quite recently, so the difference is that we have the XS Calamares and the Xanmod, right? Anything else? DKMS has a new version, 3.07. Okay. Just an update. And here we have the Linux Xanmod and Xanmod headers, obviously. And that's it. How incredible is that? The difference between XS and X and Xanmod is just the kernel and the Calamares. Right? That's it. So that's an interesting way of looking at things. Yeah, for the rest we have to wait. So I'm gonna dare and pause the video here again, and then we'll install it again. All right. Right, this time I did not forget to record everything again. So, the latest Xanmod from, look at the time, right, 2:51, and then we're gonna open it, start it, Control F it, go to the UEFI firmware settings, go to boot manager and boot from the CD-ROM, so to speak. So we're on virtual machine, no need for this one, nor need for that one, it's the first one that we need. And these lines are different, right? It's not the Linux kernel, it's not the Linux LTS, it's not the Zen, it's not the hardened. I mean, it's Xanmod, so it looks different. The messages here are different. And then we wait. Now, while we're on the live DVD here, we're gonna check our work, right? But first, Let's put them to work. Next. So this is correct. Linux kernel, Linux headers, if you want to have both of them. Linux, Linux LTS, Linux Xanmod, hard Zen. They're all here. Just a matter of installing, clicking. But everything is not needed. There's nothing needed actually. We have XFC, XS. What you see is what you get. Remember that. What you see is what you get. This is what you get. But you can add, for example, FWM to it, or any of the other guys. And this is not the default XFCE. This one and that one is not available. Well, if you want it, click it. And off we go, click, 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 click. Choose whatever you want to have. And normally I would do this, right? This is my way of setting things up. This is 2 pair for me. Internet, just one browser. So Chromium will come, Vivaldi will come with the codecs. And Telegram is here, Sublime Text, Sublime, and all these guys. Love these guys. So this is what I would select, but this is XS, so extra small. That's the idea. Choose your languages. And then in Belgian. Keyboard them. Always the same thing. Little swap if you want to. Big swap if you want to. And off it goes. While he's doing his work, well, actually, let him be here. We have desktops, right? Let's go to different desktop and have a look. So file system, oops, sorry, that one. And then etc Calamares and AG LTS. So no typos made. LTS defaults. LTS headers, kernel. Yep. What if I made a typo in Xanmod? Let's see. So Xanmod. Remove this one, remove that one. That's the kernel. No NVIDIA. Looking good. And what if I do AG Xan and I made a typo somehow? So here we have these URLs. So if you got the internet, Calamares will get the configuration from this file from here, from Xanmod or master and so on. Actually, can we click on it? Voila. So that's the configuration that comes from the internet if you've got internet, obviously. And otherwise it will use the file that's local. Looks good. Now we have to wait. Another thing that I just think about, let's go back to another desktop. If we go for the installation, we have these guys. And 3 is just enough if we've got melt, right? So Ctrl-T, sudo pacman -sy melt. I've got melt now, and I can say compare. All identical. Is that normal? Is that normal? This is settings advanced, no NVIDIA. Let me check that. Let me maybe first go here, over there. Okay, first check this. So we got ourselves a system that's booting up with the Xanmod kernel. And a quick test. Sudo pacman -s y sudo pacman -remove Linux. Xanmod is there. Let's see if something ArcoLinux is here that shouldn't be here. There is no Arco Calamares, so that's a good thing. And all the rest should be here. So that's cool. We've got ourselves a new ISO, guys. We've got ourselves a Xanmod, booting up with Xanmod. And I'm gonna shut down. I'm gonna check one thing more. So inside Calamares, we've made Xanmod, Calamares, these three guys. Was there a number 4 there? 4 guys? Because this is what's supposed to be. That's the difference between this one. Compare. Come on. Yeah, those two are the same, and those two are the same. Well, mostly. Just the NVIDIA module is gone. No, I think it's okay, but I want to check anyway again. So in here, I've not changed anything. Should be okay, but right, but always check and check again. Should be okay. 90% sure. And later on we say I'm 90% sure. I'm 80. I'm sure. I'm 80% sure. And then you keep going down, right? Watch IT Crowd, and I know. Then you know what I'm talking about. Yes, Jen. Yes, Jen. I'm 80% sure. Well, 60%. So, what I want to check is if we install Calamares, we get these 4 lines. Okay, check. These 2 guys are the same. Check. Compare. No compare available. No compare available. Control T. Sudo pacman. Keyboard. Sudo pacman -s ymeld. UG. Thank you very much. Right mouse click, compare. So those 2 guys are the same, check, and this guy is the same, check. All right. And if, let's keep this one open. If I go for an easy installation, reload, they're exactly the same. But if I go for an advanced installation, then they're not the same, right? I know, it's all good. Oof. Double check always. There you go, guys. The thing is, where shall I put this video? Where shall I put this video? All of this has been already explained on alci.online, where we have these downloads maybe. Voila. Here we have the Linux kernel, Linux kernel, Linux kernel. On this ISO, the LTS kernel, there the Zen kernel, the hardened kernel, right? And the Xanmod Edge kernel. So it has been explained already in all these videos, in all these articles down here. So if you go for home, you'll find out that there are, how many? 38 articles just about well, building ISOs, and this is with the Xanmod Edge. And let's see if we can find other guys. The LTS is here, how to create a Linux LTS. So basically that's what I did. How to create a Linux Xanmod ISO, but then not for ALCI, but for ArcoLinux. But it's always the same. It's Arch. It's play around with Lego blocks and pieces. And here's the Zen, how that's explained. So it's not that difficult if somebody explains it to you. So what I'll do is not post it here. I'll add it to the ArcoLinux because it's actually something ArcoLinux like. It's either you put it here somewhere, right? Put it here somewhere, or the alternative is we've built an ISO, ArcoLinuxB.com. And I think it's better here because here we have tutorials as well. How to build ArcoLinuxS with LeftWM. Create it yourself. How to create ArcoLinuxB Plasma. And do some things here. We see lots of ideas here. I think it's better placed to add it here. How to build the ArcoLinuxS Xanmod. And have this video in here. So there's indeed a lot of knowledge. It's okay if you're not ready, because this is a university, meaning universities last 3, 4, 5 years, right? So take your time to first get to know the Arch Linux environment, ecosystem, whatever you want to call it. And then there is the little bits, right, of the ArcoLinux, the configurations and all that. And what are all these aliases, and learn how to update and remove stuff. And gradually, maybe, right? Gradually, maybe you'll say, I want to know more and know more. And it's possible. It's all possible at the ArcoLinux University. So enjoy and follow. This concludes the video. This concludes the build. The ISO will go first to the beta testers. They play around with it. See that I have not forgotten anything. And then it's gonna be part of the default, which means, Eric, oh my God, I need to make a new thing here, right? I need to make new changes. ArcoLinux XL, XS, and XS LTS as well here. Gonna be a Xanmod in here. Enfin, that's the result of what if, right? What if I make a Xanmod ISO? All right, cheers.